To survive, there's really only a few choices. One, you could stay at home and live with your parents or family, never work, and just be a forever leech, if you want to call it. Then another is you can get a job, contribute, and still live at home. Or you can get a job and live on your own, fish and hunt for your own food. Notice how there's no option of just not working. Like, we have to work. And I know a lot of people think that that's, oh, you're lazy or whatever. I like to work myself, but from what I've found is most places, most jobs are or unfulfilling, or there's not much work to do. When I got out of college, always gave 110% every job I've ever had. Whenever people would start joking around or whatever, I would do a little bit, but then I would just get back to work because I like to work. But as I got older, I realized, like, why am I doing this? Because nobody else cares, or if they do, they don't put in as much effort as I do. And you find out that it's not about effort; it's more about being an influence on the company in a positive way, following company culture. And it sucks because people like me that like to work hard and want to, keep continuing their career and get better and better. At most places, I'm not saying it's impossible, but most places, it's not ever going to happen. I remember when I was a kid, they used to say you could run and be the president of the United States. I mean, that everyone knows that's a joke. You have to be a millionaire or billionaire to get even close. And if not, you got to sell yourself out to the millionaires and billionaires. Which, even if I wanted to do that, how the hell would I contact millionaires and billionaires? They don't care who I am. So usually it's a existing politician or a TV personality or some sort of celebrity or whatever, or an individual billionaire that could pay to have power. But it's just kind of sucks because you want to work and get where you want to be, but that's never going to happen. And I also learned that companies, they just can decide, oh, well, we're not going to do that anymore, or we don't need this person anymore, or we're not going to sell that product anymore, or we're not going to work at this state anymore, or whatever. And that's pretty crazy to me, that there's no oversight on that. They could just do whatever they want. Heck, I believe I've worked for companies that were bought out by other companies in other states, and within a year they moved the whole thing over to their state. And if I was the guy in charge, it probably makes a lot of sense. Oh, let's have it all in one place, that we can make sure it's all going okay. But I mean, like, what about the employees that already work there? There's no value in what they know. There's no value in what they could do. It's just replaceable. So then you think, well, if they could do that, it doesn't matter what I do, then you realize that nobody actually cares, and this place meaning the United States at least, but I'm sure it's very similar to other places, that nobody actually cares about you as the individual. It's more about a combined effort to make money, but only the top people get the money, and they're the ones that matter. So, I mean, even look at Pratt & Whitney before that 747 Max, I think it was, that freaking crashed, and it was due to a software error. And you find out the year before or whatever, they decided to lay off the top software engineer at the company because they said that their products have matured. Obviously not. But it's not funny for the people that died, obviously. I'm just saying that they just obviously have no idea what they're doing, and they decided in a financial move, we don't need this guy anymore. And maybe if he was here, or if he still worked there, that wouldn't have happened, and no, those people would still be alive. that just makes you realize that none of this matters. None of what we're doing for the corporate world matters unless you have a stake in the game. That's the only time it matters. And most of us will never, or never have, or if they will, it'll be very later in life. And it just, once I realized that, I came to the conclusion, why do we even have to work? Why are we doing this? Well, you need money to survive, right? But what is money? Who controls money? Why does money exist? People used to trade a chicken for a bag of potatoes, whatever. Stuff for stuff. Services for services. Services for stuff, and vice versa. And then, obviously money makes sense because we could trade easily and have it being backed by a large entity such as the United States government. But we have lost control of that. Now, like, you used to be able to, like, for example, let's say I carved little figurines out of wood or something. Back in the, like, very, very long time ago, that was a very niche skill. Any type of thing with your hands, like, a lot of people did it, but if you got really good at it, you worked hard, you could be, like, the local guy for that, like, within your town, and there would be one for each town, most likely. And people wouldn't go on to fucking Amazon and go boop 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 boop. Oh, there it is. Buy it from fucking China, and bada bing, bada boom. They even got the little, like, niche type of work. They even found out a way to take that away. Like, even like a blacksmith. Like, that was a big deal back in the medieval time. It's like, whoa, this guy, he's the local blacksmith, right? But that went away when there was mass production, or larger corporations, or whatever they called them back then, large groups that made them. And they were like a guild or something, maybe. They made them for cheaper, and they could ship them by horse wherever they want. I'm not sure exactly what the decline of a blacksmith is, but it's probably very similar to the way it is now, where there's a bigger, more powerful entity that just takes their market away. And if you think of that in money, we can't trade money. Like, money is controlled by the government and by corporations, including, like, banks. And those banks get money from corporations, so those corporations, I'm sure, have a say in it in some way. But what I'm getting at, that doesn't really matter. What I'm getting at is, what is money? It's very abstract, and it's not controlled by any of us. So, why? Well, that's just the way it is, and that's what you have to live with. There's nothing you could do unless you want to go sell bars of soap for other things, and I'm sure 99.9% of people do not want to trade an Xbox for 1,000 bars of soap. So we've lost control of local wealth, I'll say, is what I'll call it. I don't really think that's the right term, but so now we're stuck working, right? You either have money, like rich people, or like at least some tens of thousands of dollars where you can invest, and then not necessarily work like a desk job or a 9 to 5 or even a blue collar type of work. You would just invest money and just kind of manage that, or you got to work full time like me. And I know that we only have to work 5 days a week usually. I mean, there's a lot of jobs that I've seen in the job description. It says Saturdays if required, which it's like, no. Either I get paid for that Saturday, or I'm not gonna fucking do that. That's bullshit. But yeah, these fucking companies, man, they've just taken control. The government, all that. And obviously, I'm not like a wingnut where I don't believe in the government, but I don't necessarily believe the system that we have. You have to work, and there's no other choice. Like, you could live at home with your parents forever, but I'm sure most parents would want to kick them out, or maybe the parents pass away, and what do you got? a house and maybe some money left away, you're still gonna have to figure out a way to make money. So you can't just live off it, like, unless the house is paid off and you just live off of dirt and sticks. I think you're pretty much stuck doing the job, and it takes a lot of your time. I know before, like a long time ago, it used to be, before the New Deal with FDR, it used to be, you know, you'd work like whatever they wanted, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day or whatever. But now it's like, you know, set 5 days a week, 9 to 5 or whatever is an 8 hour, 9 hour schedule. And a lot of things what people don't talk about is they actually chipped away the paid lunch thing from salaried people. Like most jobs I had as a salaried person, you had to stay extra time for your lunch, and it was not a decision that you could just decide, oh no, I'm not going to have lunch. Nope. You have to be there for 9 hours, but you only get paid for 8. And you can't just say, I'm not going to take a lunch. It's just once in a while. It's not a, like, the schedule is with the 9 hours, not the 8. So there's another hour taken away. Then you got to commute. I mean, most people have average 30, 45-minute commute. It doesn't seem like much, but it adds up over time. I mean, the way people drive now, and I'm going to talk about that in another video, but it's just insane. It makes me not even want to do it. But why do we work? Because we need money. Why do we need money? We got to pay for things because we no longer trade goods for goods or services for services or vice versa. So what is money? Well, money is something that is abstract and created by corporations and the government. Why? Well, they're the most powerful group and entity, so that's why. But why? Because that's how it is, and you have to accept it. Now get back to work.